Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. At least 4 people have been killed in a huge fire that has engulfed multiple high-rise buildings in Hong Kong's Tai Po district. At least 3 more are injured, 2 of whom are in a critical condition according to a government statement. Footage shows flames and thick clouds of grey smoke billowing from the towers of the Wang Fuk Court housing complex on Wednesday afternoon. The cause of the fire is unknown, but the flames are believed to have spread quickly through bamboo scaffolding that covered the outside of the tower blocks. The blaze broke out at 2:51 local time. As night fell, pictures showed that the fire was still burning, with red flames covering at least 6 tower blocks. US President Donald Trump has defended Special Envoy Steve Witkoff as doing the standard thing after a leaked recording appeared to show him advising a Russian official on how to appeal to the president. Trump told reporters that he had not heard the audio, but that Witkoff was doing what a deal-maker does to sell the peace plan to both Russia and Ukraine. The leaked call from last month emerged days after a 28-point peace plan deal presented by the US largely reflected Russian positions on its full-scale war in Ukraine. Witkoff has visited Moscow several times this year and will meet Russian President Vladimir Putin again next week. He has not yet held talks in Kyiv.
I haven't heard it, no, but that's a standard thing, because he's got to sell this to Ukraine. He's got to sell Ukraine to Russia. That's what a deal maker does. You got to say, look, they want this. You got to convince them with this. That's a very standard form of negotiation. I haven't heard it, but I heard it was standard negotiation.
A mother in New Zealand who killed her 2 children and hid their bodies in suitcases has been sentenced to life in prison. Hak Yung Lee, who was found guilty in September of the shocking murders of 8-year-old Yuna Jo and 6-year-old Mina Jo, has to spend at least 17 years behind bars before she is eligible for parole. Lee argued she was insane at the time of the killings in 2018, which happened soon after her husband died. The High Court judge said Lee's mental health played a part in the case, but that her actions were calculated. The children's remains were discovered only in 2022 by a couple who won an auction for the contents of an abandoned storage unit in Auckland. Brazil's Supreme Court has ordered that right-wing former President Jair Bolsonaro begin serving his prison sentence of 27 years and 3 months for plotting a coup after he lost the election. Justice Alexandre de Moraes had ruled that the case had reached its final judgment and that no further appeals were possible. Bolsonaro was found guilty of leading a conspiracy aimed at keeping him in power after he lost the 2022 election to left-wing rival Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva.
They're taking my parents!
The former wife of a member of Dubai's ruling family has expressed concern that she could be arrested as her husband has lodged a criminal complaint with police, accusing her of kidnapping their 3 young daughters. Since their divorce in 2019, Zainab Javadi has been involved in a bitter custody battle with her ex-husband, Sheikh Saeed bin Maktoum bin Rashid Al Maktoum, who is the nephew of the ruler of Dubai. It has come to a head in recent weeks as the children have changed hands between the parents several times, with each accusing the other of kidnapping them. An iconic Pope-mobile belonging to the late Pope Francis has been turned into a mobile medical clinic for children in the war-torn Gaza Strip. Aid workers say it has a practical purpose and also serves as a symbol of goodwill. Staffed by medics, the Pope-mobile is intended for performing triage and is equipped for examination, diagnosis and treatment, including vaccines, stitches and tests for infections. The clinic should be able to perform up to 200 consultations a day. The children will sit in the pontiff's chair while being attended to. And an Ohio dump truck has caused chaos after it hit a highway sign and caused it to collapse. The vehicle was travelling along a highway with the dramatic collision occurring in Columbus. Footage released by the Ohio Department of Transportation showed the truck stopping shortly after it struck the overhead signage. No injuries have been reported in relation to the incident. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.